Hey, I'm live. I like going live for these full moon circles. It just feels more like a thing. I don't know about my words today. We're gonna see what happens. It's a full moon in Gemini today. I personally have been feeling these energies for the last week. It was last Monday that these major spiritual lessons hit me very quickly, and I integrated them also very quickly, and I realized that they were connected to this full moon, so that's what I'm here to share. There is also an aspect of movement, embodiment, and dance that I'd like to share with you that's coming at the end. So you'll see it if you stick around, or if you can't stick around for the whole time, you'll see it at the end. So let's get started. Hands up, who's feeling a little something over here? Again, like I said, words today, these days, I don't even know. There is so much happening right now energetically that is coming our way, that is asking us to open ourselves up to growth. It's coming at lightning speed. The lessons are happening every moment of every day, and it's a lot. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you're feeling really, really tired, that would be why. Even if you're not actively working on personal growth or spiritual growth, it is happening. So what did I want to talk about this evening? Basically about integrating duality. So this is a full moon in Gemini. Gemini is the twins. Gemini is represents duality. I don't want to say Gemini is duality, because what is duality? We're going to get into it. My take on what is duality and why is it in our lives. What is the lesson that I learned last week? What do I think this full moon medicine is about? So like I said, Gemini is the twins, and it's about duality, and full moon is about asks us to release things. So what is it that you want to release that has to do with your duality? To me, that's about integration, straight up. And it's like, well, how does that make any sense? But right now, up is down, everything is backwards. And that's also the lesson that I got from this full moon. That's the medicine in it, is that in order to... Duality exists, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's our master, so to speak. To me, I think that duality exists because we need to be learning how to integrate. That's what duality is there to show us, how to integrate. Duality means contrast. What is contrast? To me, contrast means pain. I am such a happy-go-lucky kind of person. When I feel pain, it's like, ooh, contrast. I don't feel good. Good. And what do you do with that? So this is what I decided to do with it. Hi everyone who's joining. Thanks for being here. So when you experience duality, and the example that I just gave with being in pain, in emotional pain, it means that's a moment of growth for us. Our natural inclination when we are in pain is to do something quickly to fix it. And that makes sense, right? Something is wrong and I'm gonna fix it. And a lot of time that does make sense. However, there are many times, and in my experience, the stronger the discomfort is and the stronger the pain is, the more important actually it is that we sit with it and that we let it wash over us. What I mean by that, also, another aspect is that the more intensely you feel something, the more spiritual medicine there is in it for you. The more closely related to your personal karma it is. Am I making sense? I want to be vague enough to kind of allow everybody to use their own examples, but I don't want to be too non-specific that it doesn't make sense. So I am going to give you my personal example. grief is a huge theme in my life, in the life path, in what my soul chose for this lifetime. Grief has been a huge part of my life. And I used to think of it, the relationship that I used to have with my grief was it was like this thing that would come and go. It was a heavy thing. It was a burden. It was a reminder of pain and loss and feelings of isolation that lived in my heart. And of course, like, life is cyclical and duality exists, just like Gemini. And every time the grief would come around, I would circle back to the same kinds of feelings of isolation and despair. And last week, grief came to visit me briefly after a conversation with somebody that I love very much. And I decided to try something new. And instead of resisting the grief and being like, well, you don't have any reason to feel that way because X, Y, or Z, or, you've got other things to do, you need to put this aside, or you're not justified in your feelings, your grief, or whatever it may be, whatever story you tell yourself, whatever the mind is doing. Bless our minds, right? Wonderful gift, but they can be a burden at times too. And this would be a time when your emotions are overwhelming you. I've said this before. It's no time to tap into your mind. Not helpful, sir. What you need to do when you feel overwhelmed by really intense emotions like grief or joy, either end of the spectrum, is tap into that heart center. So I approached my grief last week with a feeling of surrender, with a feeling of acceptance. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just feel it and see what happens. And I let the sadness just wash over me, and I let myself cry, and I allowed the grief into my heart. And again, like, very counterintuitive. But I did it, and guess what? It transmuted into gratitude. It was so powerful. And that's what I want to share with you. Like I said, the more intensely you feel something, the more important it is to allow it in. We're not meant to keep going through the same patterns. And what I was saying about the grief cycling back around, we're not actually meant to have that experience. Well, the experience that we are meant to have with really intense emotions is to learn from them and to transcend them. And the only way to do that is to allow them in and not jump to trying to solve the problem, but just to allow it and to sit with it and to trust it, to trust that there's medicine in it, and to know that it's going to help us in our growth. This is like super complex stuff for me. It was really hard for me to get this down on paper. So I'm just pausing to check my notes to make sure that I got everything. Yeah, I did. So, so that's basically what I did. Was I made a choice to say, I'm going to allow this heaviness and this sadness. I'm going to allow it in. I'm not going to resist it. And I'm also making a choice, instead of looking at a negative experience or an experience of contrast as an opportunity to be, for lack of a better word, negative, to say something like, my grief feels heavy and my grief makes me feel isolated. Hi, Demi. Thanks for being here. Nice to see you. Instead of looking at it from that perspective, I also made a choice to raise the vibrations of the grief that I was experiencing and turn it into gratitude. So there's kind of like two things that you have to do. The first thing you have to do is to allow the feeling into your heart. And the second thing you have to do is make a conscious choice to raise the vibration. So instead of saying like, I feel grief, therefore I'm sad, I said to myself, what if we try gratitude? I feel grief because I am so grateful for this relationship I had with this person and all of those wonderful memories that I cherish with that person. And my tears didn't stop flowing, but the feeling of being like caged in It left. Because I made a choice not to give into the problem solving and not to give into that feeling of heaviness on my shoulders, but to allow my heart to lead me. I allowed the pain into my heart, and my heart gave me that own wisdom back, which was to turn it into gratitude. Does that make sense? Like, it sounds simple. It's taken me a lifetime to learn that lesson right up until last Monday. But that's what I'm here to try and share with you. Yeah, you have to allow the pain in, and that's how we transcend duality. And that's what the full moon in Gemini is asking us to do, to transcend our duality and to integrate, because things are changing at a rapid pace in this world, and you got to be comfortable with your emotions and with living from the heart space, because that's just where we're going. And it really is a beautiful place to be. It's a really freeing feeling to surrender to your emotions. It really is. Has anyone ever tried that? Is this new information? You can let me know. Yeah. I feel that relates, thank you, Decca. I feel that relates really personally to our karma that we have in this lifetime. When all of our major emotions and cycles, like, we all kind of know those one or two parts of our life where we sort of like invite back. We see the same cycles, we see the same experiences playing out over and over again, or we experience the same emotion, for my example being grief, in different parts of our lives. And it's like, why does this happen? So, like, the more intense it is, the more of a sign it is that it relates to your personal karma, and it's something that you need to work on integrating. Thank you, Demi. That's right. Yeah, removing that resistance. Yeah, totally. You got it. You got to trust. You got to trust your heart, because guess what? Like, you have all of that wisdom in your heart. It's there, just like waiting to be activated. Not to mention all of the spirits and guardian angels that are there to support you too, that become available to you once you are able to move into your heart space. Yeah, so accept your pain. Release the interpretation of the experience as painful duality, and just observe it for what it is, and that's going to help you integrate it and transcend. And to me, that's what this Gemini full moon is all about, integrating duality. And that's what I really, really wanted to share with you guys. That pretty much sums it up. So the next part of what I wanted to do was to explain to you something that I am going to be doing in my online dance classes. So I teach online belly dance, Egyptian style, but it's not just any kind of belly dance. I call it ground and flow, love your body belly dance, because it is all about embodying grounding, which is our root chakra, and flowing, which is your sacral chakra. And learning how to do those two things are really important prerequisites to coming into your heart space. Yeah. So that's what I want to show you, what I want to help you do now, what I want to help you embody with some movement, because that's also what belly dance has done for me. So we're going to do like a little mini exercise in that now. So I made up a really simple little like movement exercise that I'm going to show you, and then we're going to try it together. Okay, so there is a thing called mudras in Sanskrit. That's what they're called, and it means like hand symbols. And I have a deck of mudra cards, and I picked out a few intuitively that I thought went with the movements and the music that I want to do. By the way, the song that I chose, like, this is a little bit of a sample, but we would do this in a proper full-length class. And the song that I chose is a really, really beautiful song by the Waylon Jennings, and it's called Storm Comin'. And the lyrics say that, like, when the storm comes, don't even bother hiding. You have to go move into your heart space and let love in. Oh my gosh, I just feel into that. When that storm comes, don't run for cover. Don't run from the coming storm. You can't keep the storm from coming. That grief and that duality, it's here now, right? We are in such an intense time right now. And it's showing up and it's saying, I'm here. And what are you going to do about it? And what I want you to do about it is to flow with it. To ground into the earth, to move into your heart space, and to just allow and know that the storm will pass. So the first mudra that we're going to do is, it's like an upside down triangle that you make with your hands. And it's called Trimurta Mudra. And it's meant to bring harmony into our body. So every mudra that you do, in the Vedas, which are the holy texts of ancient India, where yoga comes from, as well as like Hindu, it is what Hinduism is drawn from. The Vedas are pre-Hindu. Anyways, so mudras and this kind of wisdom comes from that. So this wisdom says that each of these hand symbols will bring different things into, I don't want to say into your life, but it's like for your physicality. So this is for harmony. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your hands together and you're going to bring your thumbs to meet and your forefingers. Where are my words right now? Honestly, this full moon. Do this with your hands. Okay. So that one is meant to bring a feeling of harmony around transitions and stability to mind. I'm going to stand up because this is like our movement point, and I want you to be able to see me and I want to demonstrate. So the perching on the ottoman portion of the video is over, and ta-da! Now we're ready to do some movement. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to make this like triangle with your hands, and you're going to hold it right here and feel that harmony. Okay? Gosh, having bad eyes is so difficult. Yeah, it's meant to bring stability and balance into you. So just stand, ground, or sit if you want to stay sitting. Do this with your hands and hold it over your sacral chakra, which is your hips, your pelvic area. And just breathe and feel into harmony. I'm in harmony with my surroundings. Whether I'm perceiving them as positive or negative, I'm at harmony with them. I'm at peace. Whatever's going on around me, my inner peace is not disturbed. I live in harmony. This is my sacred space, and it is a harmonious one. So that's the first thing that we do. The next one represents surrender. So what you do is you keep your thumbs and your forefingers the same, and then you're going to pick up your third and fourth finger. See, it looks like this. So my third and fourth finger are pointing down, my pinky is connected, my forefingers are connected, and my thumbs are connected, and then you're going to have them pointing to the ground. And this is about surrender. And this is another important part of what I want to talk about, because again, we have to surrender to what's going on. We have very little control right now. And again, like I said, there's really not much that we can do other than maintain our personal harmony and surrender to it. Okay? So whether or not, again, we can do these, we're going to do these in class later. This is more just like a sample. So don't worry too much about like the mechanics of it, but I want you to feel into it when I put the music on. The next emotion, the next mudra that we do is called reassurance. You take your right hand and you wrap your fingers around your left thumb, and then you kind of just let your fingers and your other thumb like land where they're going to. And this is reassurance. And honestly, like, I feel reassured right now. I feel like someone is hugging me. I feel like, you know, that's good. This is like one of the very first things that babies do developmentally to soothe themselves. And it's like, oh yeah. Okay? That's it. Simple, right? 1, 2, 3. You're going to do a little bit with your hands though. So you start here with the triangle over your sacral chakra. You're feeling into your harmony. When that storm comes, I'm going to surrender. Don't run for cover. Where are you going to hide? The things, they're everywhere. It's all a head game. You have to choose not to be freaked out by it and to move from your heart space. So when that storm comes, don't run for cover. And then they say it again. When that storm comes, you're going to bring your arms up above your head. And then you're going to do this. You're going to wrap your right fingers around your left thumb. Don't run for cover. So we're going to do that a couple times. We're going to do that once or twice and just listen. It's like such beautiful music. Just listen to the music and allow yourself to feel into that trust. Okay, so we do that again. Then we're just going to do some nice body waves. And again, like when you come to class with me, I'll explain to you how to do it, but just let your body wave, because this movement in dance is when you teach it to beginners, we explain it as like, imagine like water is cascading down your body, right? Just allow, surrender. That's what the sacral chakra is all about. There's so much beauty and wisdom in that. Okay, then the music changes. We have 2 more I'm going to show you how to do. Okay, so you interlace your fingers, and we're going to start just like shifting our weight like this from side to side. You step on your right foot, and then you step on your left foot. And these 2 are green for the heart chakra. Because what did I say? We need to move into our heart space. Okay, so I trust myself, and then they say other things about the thunder and their beautiful voices are singing, and then we're going to open up our hearts. I'm going to be doing it with you so you can follow me. I trust myself. And then this last one is your left hand over your right hand. You put it over your heart again. And this is meant to convey a feeling of inner guidance. What did I say about when you turn off that fear brain and you allow yourself to ground and move into your heart space? You have your own internal guidance system that is just waiting there to help you move through things and move from the heart. We will become a more heart-centered society. We're on our way there. So get on the train because it's coming. Okay, I don't want this to go on too long. I don't even know how long I've been talking for. Once I start, it's hard to stop. How do you like my new necklace, right? Green for the heart chakra. We're all green and hot pink today. So yeah, anyways, let's just do that. And then there's like 20 seconds at the end where there's some really beautiful violin music, and I'll dance for you. I think it's a violin. I'm usually so much more grounded, but you know, it's a full moon in Gemini, so it is what it is. Enjoy being out in outer space, because tomorrow it'll be different. Okay, here we go. And let me know what you think of the song, because I think it's so beautiful. Okay, here we go. Ready? Take your hands and make that triangle. Breathe. Surrender. Don't run for cover. Don't run from the coming storm. There ain't no use in running. Okay, add some waves. When that rain falls. That's why I did that. Just let it come. Let it wash. Trust yourself. This is self-trust. Open your heart. Okay, we're going to do it again. Trust yourself. Feel your heart expanding. Trust your heart. What are you going to do when love calls to you? Are you really going to ignore it? Don't do that. that's all I choreographed. But anyways, that's a little idea of what I'm going to be teaching in my online classes. And there's also lots of other things. We do plain old belly dance too, because that's lots of fun. But this is a style of embodiment class that I really wanted to do with people. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. This full moon tonight is crazy. To sum up, if you just tuned in, you might be really tired. That's normal. Just get a lot of sleep. Trust what's going on. Move into your heart space. And know that you're loved. And if you feel like you need extra support and guidance, I do distance Reiki and I do tarot readings for people. And know that you're loved and it's all going to be okay. Okay, see ya. Mwah.